Dinosaur Adventure Land or what? I love giving the tours out there on a beautiful day like this. Okay, it is October the 20th, 2023 tonight, in our Making Babies series, how snails make babies. I know, slowly, but there's more to it than that, okay? I want you evolutionists to focus and give an answer. Don't distract everybody with your dumb questions on other topics. How did this evolve? I'm saying it can't be explained with evolution. Well, you can follow us. We're the folks who believe God should get the glory for his creation. We're on Rumble at Kent Hovind Official, our YouTube channel, Genesis Baptist Church, on Odyssey, Kent Hovind Official. Come visit us at Dinosaur Adventure Land. We have all kinds of cuddly animals the kids can play with. And how many got to pet that one emu? He just loves to be petted, and he just lays down and grunts and groans and snuggles up to you. I mean, a bird as big as you, emu. Anyway, come on down. Tonight, the snails. Let's go. And we're at Dinosaur Adventure Land, coming to you live from Genesis Baptist Church in Lenox, Alabama. Solomon said, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard." Okay, why should we consider an ant? Well, there's a lot to learn from ants. We'll cover that some other time. But they don't have a boss. Nobody tells them what to do. 12,000 known kinds of ants, and they might have had a common ancestor called an ant. It doesn't prove they're related to a mosquito. He said, consider the lilies, consider the ravens. It's all through the Bible. We should consider God's world and draw us just in admiration to him. Why can't you atheists just admit there's a God and just admire him? Give him the praise and glory. I don't understand. A bunch of different types of lilies. He said, consider the lilies. There's actually 2,000 varieties of lilies. I think you ought to consider them and say, do I really, really believe nobody designed this? I mean, really. Do you ever stop and think about what you think about? Do you realize you've been brainwashed? Consider the ravens. There are some huge ravens. You think it came from a dot smaller than a proton. All the matter in the universe. That means every molecule of this raven and all these crows and all these ravens all came from a dot. Do you really believe that? Who taught you something so stupid and you fell for it? Shame on you. Okay, there's all kinds of ways animals reproduce. Sexually and asexually are the primary methods. Okay, animals that can reproduce both ways. Quite a few animals can do either way. They don't have to have a husband or wife. Okay, 50 different kinds of watermelons. God said they'd bring forth after their kind. That's all anybody's ever seen. We're going to talk tonight about snails and how they make babies. Okay, you can help us stay open for free. If you want to support our ministry, join our 777 Club. I don't check up on it. I don't know who's in it and who's not. Just if you want to help, great. If you don't, get out of the way. We're going to serve God anyway, all right? So you can go to Dr.Dino.com and see all about that, or just a one-time gift if you'd like, whatever you want. Or click on the yellow donate button is that on our channel? Or on,
top left corner right now.
Top left corner, click on QR code. Oh, okay, good. Make any checks if you don't want to write a check to CSE, Creation Science Evangelism. That's our ministry. Okay, get our video series on science in the Bible. Make all the copies you want, give them to your friends. Be a great Christmas present. Stocking stuffer. Might change somebody's life for eternity with one of those. We've had who knows how many hundreds of thousands get saved watching these crazy videos. So please watch them. Get our series on what on earth is about to happen. My book or my video series or my charts on that. Folks, I think it's here. Tribulation time. This is it. Okay, no parental advisory tonight. This one shouldn't be any problem. Okay, God blessed him and said, be fruitful and multiply. First thing he said, go have a bunch of kids. Be fruitful. He blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply, be fruitful and multiply. It's all through the Bible. God blessed Noah after the flood. Be fruitful. It's a blessing to have a whole bunch of kids and a big family. It's a great blessing. By the way, if you don't have a family and you want to come join us for Christmas, you can be part of the Dinosaur Adventure Land family. We're inviting the whole world in. You say, I don't have a family. Well, come join our family for Christmas or for Thanksgiving. 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon, Thanksgiving Day. Come on down. Spend all day. Take the tour. Cabins fill up quick. We only have 25 cabin spaces. If you want to stay in a cabin, call 855 BIG-DINO extension 5 to schedule a cabin. Okay. Let's see. God made a male and female, male and female, male and female. It's pretty clear in the Bible. There's only 2 sexes. Okay, 2 genders. You guys can't figure that out. Male and female, male and female. Okay. God, in his infinite wisdom, gave the command to all life forms to make babies, and he gave the needed equipment and the drive to do so. Why would any animal want to make more babies, which only adds to the competition for the food supply? They all seem to want to, don't they? Yep. He made an amazing variety of ways for them to make babies. We're going to share with you one tonight you cannot explain with your stupid evolution theory. I got a theory. God made so many amazing ways to make babies and animals and plants that they can reproduce that no one, not even diehard believers, will be able to have an excuse on Judgment Day and say, well, God, I think that just happened by chance. You don't either. You know there was a designer. Okay. David said, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. So we talked about the anglerfish. Nobody answered that one. My first one I did. We talked about the tardigrade. We talked about the honeybee. We talked about the watermelon, starfish, praying mantis. You atheists aren't answering any of these. Instead, you're changing the subject, aren't you? Yeah. The sponge, how did that evolve? The barnacle, the Venus flytrap, the flatworm. How come you guys are not answering any of these? Just give me a scientific explanation for how their unusual method of reproduction evolved without a designer. Nobody answered that one. Nobody answered the right whales, the wrong whales, left whales, right whales, upside down whales, blue whale, pink whales, yellow whales, banana slug. Nobody answered that one. The golden plover, there's a cool one. Nobody answered that one. Porcupine, how they make babies, tarantula, Suriname toad. Let's go back and see we got a whole series every Friday night for what a year now. You guys aren't answering. Come on. Kangaroo, bacteria, Komodo dragon, hippopotamus. Nobody did that one. The condor, the axolotl. Nobody answered that one. Why not? The cichlid. Nobody did that one. The sea slug. I don't think you can answer them, can you? Why don't you give up on your dumb religion of evolution, huh? Come on. See, if my evolution religion isn't true and God designed all the plants, that changes everything. Yes, ma'am, it does. That means there's a creator and you're going to answer to him one day. You might want to get ready for that. Nobody did the kiwi. Come on, where'd you go, guys? The tortoise beetle, the dandelion a couple weeks ago, the love bug. Boy, do we have those around here. But nobody answered that one. The echidna, the short beak, we didn't do the long beak. They got the same problem, Okay. The wasp, the special wasp, nobody did that one. Tonight, the snail. Hi, I'm a snail. My creator made me. If you think I evolved from nothing for no reason with no designer, you need to go back to school and learn some real science. Tonight, we're going to study how the snail makes babies. You atheists are all invited to explain how this unusual method evolved by blind random chance. I predict nobody will answer this one either. Okay. God said, let the earth bring forth living creature. He just spoke everything into existence. Didn't say a word. He spoke it into existence. He just said, let it be. And all the creatures were created, just poof, like that, okay? God said, let there be light. God said, let there be a firmament, which is an interesting study. What is the firmament? Okay? The waters above the firmament gather together in one place. Let the earth bring forth grass. God just spoke everything into existence. So tonight, the snail. There are at least 200,000 varieties of mollusks comprising snails in the world, but only 50,000 of them have been identified. The rest are running from the law or something. I don't know. Okay. 15 different types of snails. Pictures, charts, facts. 15 types of snails. Wow, we have the white-lipped snail and the brown-lipped snail. Did you know snails have lips? Who'd have thunk it, right? All kinds of different snails. Snail facts. Largest snail ever was the giant African snail, 12 inches long and 2 pounds. It's a big snail. Snails leave a trail of slime when they move. The mucus functions as lubrication between the snail and the surface they crawl on. Snails are hermaphrodites. However, they're not typically capable of reproducing by themselves. Once they have mated with another snail, they will both produce eggs. What? Oh, yeah. 2 snails get together and mate, and they both get pregnant. I didn't make it up. I'm just asking you evolutionists to explain how it happened. Come on now. Snails lay between 30 and 120 eggs at a time. Average nest is about 80 eggs. They can lay hundreds of pre-fertilized eggs per year that hatch in just 2 weeks and reach sexual maturity in 1 year. Snails can produce 6 batches of eggs in a single year. During mating, each snail lays 80 eggs about 3 to 6 days after mating. Aquarium snails lay around 50 to 200 eggs monthly in optimal conditions. There's snail eggs. Who'd have thunk it? There, snail laid eggs under a branch. Snail egg. There's a snail laying eggs right there. Garden snail eggs, white or creamy colored. Wow, 85 eggs on the ground. There's one about to lay an egg. Now, did this whole process happen by chance? I mean, the sperm and the egg both being designed with all the DNA code, getting together, forming an egg with the shell around it, that inside the baby develops. And nobody designed any of that. There's another snail laying black eggs. Okay. There's snail eggs. It's already got the shell on it when it comes out of the egg. You think there might be a design to make the DNA code, to make the snail with the shell already on it, inside the egg about that big? Look at that. Mystery snails, newly hatched baby mystery snails. They have, 22 chromosomes. And the chromosomes are incredibly complex. Any chromosome is really complex, okay? You atheists are dreaming if you think any chromosome happened by chance. If you unwound one chromosome from your body, undid the whole thing, it stretched out about 6 feet, all the chromosomes from one person tied end to end would go across the solar system twice. How long is your DNA? The DNA inside each of your cells is longer than you are, but packs down into a space smaller than you can see. Well, you'd almost think it was designed, wouldn't you? DNA, in humans, 46 chromosomes, as well as being naturally helical model. DNA is supercoiled using enzymes so it takes up less space. Try holding a piece of string at one end and twisting the other. As you add twist, the string coils and makes coils of coils, and then coils of coils of coils. That's your DNA, and it all happened by chance. That code is unbelievably complex. Okay, if you stretch the DNA in one cell all the way out, it would be 2 meters long, and all the DNA in all your cells put together would be twice the diameter of the solar system. So, does the female snail know that she is making 80 copies of that every 6 weeks or so to make the eggs have all this DNA? She has to copy the code precisely, because a little tiny mistake will probably mess it up and it'll die. Does she even know she's making those copies? Come on, guys. Why are love bugs stuck together? Oh, we don't care about that tonight. The giant African land snail. When measured in total length, African land snail, world's biggest snail, about 2 3/4 inches tall and nearly 8 inches long. The giant African snail is the most often seen invasive snail species. It's well known for causing extensive harm to agricultural crops. That's a big snail. And they eat them. I say they, not me. Okay. This huge edible snail is referred to as escargot. How many have ever heard of escargot? That's French for makes you want to puke, I think, or something like that. Okay. Here's the white-lipped snail and the brown-lipped snail. Who'd have thunk it? Snails have lips. I was studying this, and I talked to my wife. I said, you remember that song VeggieTales sang, "I love my lips"? How many have ever heard that one before? VeggieTales. Let's see if I can get it to play here. So 3 minutes long. We'll take a break from our intense Bible study here.
And now it's time for Silly Songs with Laddie, the part of the show where Laddie comes out and sings a silly song.
Larry the Cucumber.
One day, while talking with Dr. Archibald, Laddie confronts one of his deepest fears.
If my lips ever left my mouth, packed a bag and headed south, that'd be too bad. I'd be so sad.
I see, that'd be too bad. You'd be so sad.
That'd be too bad.
Alrighty.
If my lips said adios, I don't like you, I think you're gross, that'd be too bad. I might get mad.
That'd be too bad. You might get mad.
That'd be too bad.
Fascinating.
If my lips moved toodaloo, left a mess and took my tooth, that'd be too bad. I'd call my dad.
Oh dear, that'd be too bad. You'd call your dad. your father? Fascinating. So what you're saying is, if your lips left you...
That'd be too bad. I'd be so sad I might get mad. I'd call my dad. That'd be too bad.
That'd be too bad.
That'd be too bad.
Why?
'Cause I love my life. Beep-beep-bop-bop-bee-bop-boo. Beep-bop-bop-boo, bop-boo-bop. Yabba-dabba-bop-dee-ba-bop-bop-dee-ba-bop-dow.
Oh my, this is more serious than I thought. Larry, what do you see here?
That looks like a lip.
What about this?
It's a lip.
And this?
It's a lip, it's a lip, it's a lip, 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 it's a lip, it's a lip, it's a lip, 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 it's a lip, it's a lip, it's a lip, 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 lip.
Larry, tell me about your childhood.
When I was just 2 years old, I left my lips out in the cold and they turned blue. What could I do?
Oh dear, they turned blue. What could you do?
Oh, they turned blue.
I see.
On the day I got my tooth, I had to kiss my great Aunt Ruth. She had a beard, and it felt weird.
My, she had a beard and it felt weird.
She had a beard.
Oh,
10 days after I turned 8, got my lips stuck in a gate. My friends all laughed, and I just stood there until the fire department came and broke the lock with the crowbar, and I had to spend the next 6 weeks in lip rehab with this kid named Oscar who got stung by a bee right on the lip, and we couldn't even talk to each other until the 5th week because both of our lips were so swollen, and when he did start speaking, he just spoke Polish, and I only knew like 3 words in Polish, except now I know 4 because Oscar taught me the word for lip. Usta.
your friends all laughed. Usta. How do you spell that?
I don't know.
So what you're saying is that when you were young...
They turned blue, what could I do? She had a beard and it felt weird, my friends all laughed. Usta.
I'm confused.
I love my lip.
This has been Silly Songs with Larry.
If you haven't raised your kids on VeggieTales, they've not been properly educated, okay? Larry the Cucumber. Then he sings a song about his hairbrush, and they say, well, you don't have any hair. You don't have any lips either, but that's okay. Okay, anyway, there are snails with lips. Okay, right here. I want to take one more video. There we go. Let me shrink that one down. I'm getting better at this, brother. Yeah, I love my lips. And this one. And full screen. We'll just play a few minutes.
About 3 months ago, I found a garden snail resting on the side of the building. I picked it up and brought it home, just out of curiosity. That started my journey raising and breeding pet snails. The longer I keep them, the more I find them fascinating. Today, I would like to share with you the life cycle I observed on garden snails. Garden snails are hermaphrodites, which means they are both male and female. To fertilize the eggs, they still prefer to mate with other partners. Snails are mostly blind. Garden snails have 4 tentacles. The lower tentacles are home to their nose. They can detect food up to 2 meters away.
By the way, see that white bump on the side of the head? That's how they mate. With the side of their head. Evolutionists? Let's hear an explanation.
Snails like to perform a little dance courtship when they are ready to mate. Slowly, their reproductive organ on the right side of their head will emerge from the body. Neither snail wants to be the mother and prefers the easier life of the father. To achieve this goal, they slowly shoot out their love dart and try to penetrate their partner. The love dart will release an enhancer to make their sperm more likely to be successful.
So they're going to shoot out a love dart into their partner. Evolutionists, how did this evolve now? I don't want a made-up story. Give me some science. Come on, you guys claim you like science. We want a detailed explanation for how this evolved.
Successful. The entire mating may take 6 to 12 hours. They stay static during this time, and all
There. the side of their head attached together. That's how they mate. How did it evolve? Oh, hang on. There.
Tentacles retracted in. You shouldn't try to move them at this stage. Just let them be and enjoy themselves. After 7 to 10 days, the snail may lay up to dozens of eggs in the soil. But if they don't think the environment is suitable, they can store their eggs inside their body up to 6 months.
So after they mate, they can lay their eggs right away, or they can decide to store them for 6 months if the conditions aren't right. Can humans do that? We're the most advanced creatures in the world, aren't we? Can human decide, I'm going to delay this baby developing inside of me for 5 years? No.
Rather than teeth, snails have toothless covered tongue.
You can study how they eat and all that later on, but let's see. Go back here. Okay. When properly maintained, an apple snail may grow to almost 6 inches, making it a common name for giant freshwater snails, 6 inches. The common whelk is a big edible snail. How many of you have ever eaten a snail? Escargot, come on now. Have you really? And let me guess, it tastes good, right? Let me guess, tastes like chicken. Right. I wonder why eggs don't taste like chicken. Anyway, let's see. Let's go on here now. Here's the Nerite snail, the assassin snail. Beneficial critters, they devour pest snails in any tank. Wow. Average lifespan of a snail is determined by their environment. Some live in captivity up to 25 years. There's a snail leaving a slime trail behind. Snails have genitalia that are similar to those of both sexes. So they both have the male and the female mechanism to make babies. They're not typically capable of reproducing by themselves. However, once they mated with another snail, they will both produce eggs. Could you please explain how that evolved, okay? Reproductive system of gastropods, the entwined, everted penis of a pair of mating hermaphrodite slugs, snail without the shell, okay? Reproductive system of gastropods, slugs, and snails varies greatly from one group to another. Well, now you got more to explain, guys. It's not just that they learned one method of reproduction that's unusual. They're all slightly different. How did they all evolve? Here's the anatomy of a snail. Let's see. The ovotestes is way up there on top of the shell, but the penis and vagina is way down here, and then they mate with the side of their head. Could some of you atheists please quit chasing Zelda and start doing some science and find out tell me how this evolved, or else give up on your dumb religion. How do snails reproduce? Well, let's see. Snails have one of the most intriguing reproduction habits in the animal kingdom. Majority of snail species are hermaphrodites, including land snails. In one mating ritual, a snail may assume the role of the female, in another, the role of the male. Additionally, snails may perform both jobs concurrently, fertilizing one another at the same time. The fascinating portion doesn't end there. They fire love darts at each other while they're mating. They fire love darts. Okay. It's crucial to understand that various snail species have unique mating strategies. Boy, they sure do. When snails first meet, they crawl all over each other and give each other a thorough sniff to get to know one another. Then they go on to more advanced techniques. The love dart, which is what snails use, will stab each other. Be used by one of them, resembles a sharp dart that pierces the body of one snail and injects hormones. This increases the success of the next effort to mate. Here they are, sides of their head stuck together. Here's a drawing of the head of a snail prior to mating. S is the dart sac where they store their ammunition. D is the love dart that they're going to fire at them. And P is the penis on the side of the head. Can you imagine being a clothing designer trying to figure out how to make? Never mind. Okay. Teachers teaching evolution are firing dumb darts at their students. You're teaching them to be dumb by teaching them that stupid religion of evolution. Stop firing the dumb darts, teacher. Okay? You're teaching them they came from a dot of nothing. Big Bang, a near nothing, a proton. Yeah, exploded. The universe grew from smaller than a single atom to bigger than a galaxy. You call that science? That's fairy tale stuff. That's imagination, SpongeBob style. Oh, here he is right here, SpongeBob. Humans probably evolved from bacteria that lived more than 4 billion years ago. Evolution teaching dumbs down the students to where they believe they came from a bacteria. You're firing dumb darts at your students, teacher, by teaching them your religion of evolution. You're dumbing them down. It's not science, it's a religion. You disagree with me? Come in the comment section afterwards. We're going to open it up, brother. Are we able to? Later on? Okay. You bring it on. You want to debate? Bring it on. Take on all of you evolutionists at the same time. Come on. Okay. Here is a female snail with the penis on the head. How did this evolve? Mating of the stag nails in a freshwater aquarium. There they are, the sides of their head stuck together. There's the slug penis coming out the side of his head. Okay, there we go. There they are, mating. Would you evolutionists please give me a scientific explanation for how this happened? I don't want to hear, well, they're here, so it must have evolved. I can say, well, they're here, and so they must have been designed. Can I? Majority of land snails, 2 sets of tentacles, the top one carrying the eyes. They can't see very well, but they can see. And the bottom one carrying the olfactory organs. That's the sense of smell. They don't have any hearing at all, okay? Snails are nocturnal creatures, which means most of their operations occur during the evening hours. Snails dislike direct sunshine, which is why you'll see them in dark places, okay? Some are very gluttonous. There are more than 500 distinct species of plants that the giant African snail has been seen to consume. Eating a whole strawberry there, that's a big fellow, okay? You really, really think this came by chance from a dot of nothing exploding and then some ocean, some raining on the rocks for millions of years, and the mineral soup it made turned into the first living form, and that first living form made these snails over millions of years, of course. Really? You really believe that? The purpose of the shell is to protect his internal anatomy. Let's see. They will seal the opening of the shell with some kind of mucus that will become hard and protect the delicate body temperature. So if it's too hot, too cold, too dry, they seal up the opening. They pull themselves into their shell and seal it up. See, for millions of years, they didn't know how to do that. So they all died for a long time till they finally learned how to do it. Yep. All you brainwashed evolution believers, would you please give some real observable science to explain step by step how snails evolved this complex reproductive system slowly by random mutations with no help from a designer? Would you please just give me an answer? How did this happen? You believers in evolution need to give a real scientific explanation for snail reproduction. If you think it's science and you think it ought to be required for all the students to learn your dumb religion, well then show me the science. Not a fairy tale, some science. Come on, guys. Did the snail produce sperm for millions of years for no reason until it learned it also had to make eggs also and swap with another snail? How did it learn that? Great architects design expensive houses and people say, wow, this guy's good. Great landscapers design expensive landscaping and say, wow, this guy's good. Bodybuilders have muscles like mine. They say, wow, this guy's strong. Yeah. Cabinet makers say, whoa, that guy's a good cabinet maker. Atheists argue against designer using arguments that they designed. Come on now. Potters can take clay from the ground and make amazing pottery. People say, wow, that's amazing. Human organism has 11 organ systems. Humans have 11 systems, each one more complicated than the whole internet of the world, okay? And you really think it happened by chance. Logical people study complex systems and say, wow, must have had a designer. Mm-hmm. How many cells in the human body? 30 to 40 trillion cells. When logical people see 30 to 40 trillion cells that grow and reproduce and interact with each other and can heal up when you cut yourself, I think they'd say, wow, somebody might have designed that. One cell is so complex, the high level of technology attained today cannot produce one. You got 40 trillion cells. We can't even make one with all of our brilliant scientists in the laboratory. Don't you think maybe it's time to say, maybe there's a designer? What are you running from anyway? God takes clay from the ground and makes a man with 40 trillion complex cells. Atheists say, wow, all this evolved for no reason. Don't you? You're running from the Creator. You don't know there's no Creator. You're running from Him. God made bazillions of microscopic life forms as amazing as bacteria. Atheists say, wow, all evolved for no reason. God said, I'm the Lord. My glory will I not give to another. O Lord, how manifold are thy works. I don't have a problem praising God for a snail. He said, I will praise thee. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. He said, be still and know that I'm God. I'll be exalted. God will take care of all of you. Someday you're going to all get together and say, God's going to hold a snail in front of you. Say, how could you be so dumb? Hovind tried to explain it to you. Give it up. Moses tried to explain to Pharaoh, let my people go. He didn't want to do it and lost everything. And you atheists are going to lose everything, including your soul, if you don't start listen, pay attention, okay? The snail. Everyone shall give account of himself to God. In the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. I think Judgment Day, God's going to hold some simple snail in front of you, atheists. You say, why were you so willingly ignorant and slow to see the obvious? There's a designer. How could you possibly believe the snail came from a result of a Big Bang? Smaller than a proton. I think you're insane if you believe that. Certifiably insane. Anyway, evolution is not science. It's a religion. It's the dumbest religion in the world. God created the heaven and the earth, and He did it all in 6 days. Atheists say, I'll bow before no God and not surrender logic and reason to faith. You've already surrendered logic to faith. You have faith in evolution. If it's not faith, tell me how the snail evolved. Give me this. Come on. Give me some science. Tell me how it evolved. You believe it evolved, don't you? You have faith. You're nothing but religious zealots is all you are. Okay? So the humans, the birds, dinosaurs, ladybugs, pine trees, everything came from a common ancestor. All the many forms of life on Earth today came from a common ancestor. Why would you put this in a biology book? That's not science. That's religion. That would include the snail. Yep. No traces of those events remain, though. Let's see. You evolutionists, you're committed to this stupid family tree. You cannot think outside the box. They didn't want to retain God in their knowledge. Let's see. There's the shark, the fern, the starfish. There it is, the snail. Are you related to a snail? AJ, we commented on you last night. Simple question. Are you a relative of a snail? Should we answer for him? Yes, you believe you are. I know. Okay. Yep. O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast ordained strength. You ought to consider the heavens, consider the snail, just consider anything. There it is. Biology teacher came from a protozoa. There's our cousin Vinny, right? There he is, the snail. I'll bow before no God, not surrender logic and reason. You idiot, you've already surrendered your logic a long time ago. You think a snail and his reproductive system happened by chance? I think God made all these wild different methods of reproducing just to make you say, wow, you're smart, God. Why don't you give him the glory? A snail. Someday, every knee shall bow. With faith, through faith, we understand the worlds were framed by the word of God. God just spoke the snail into existence. Every molecule lined up just right to make a snail, just by his voice. It's appointed unto man once to die. Acts 16, he said, sirs, what must I do to be saved? You better be asking that question. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, and thou shalt be saved. He promised. If you died today, where would you go? Smoking or non-smoking? It's your choice. You've all got a physical birthday. You need a spiritual birthday too. Give your heart to the Lord. Except a man be born again, Can't see the kingdom of God. Whosoever believeth on him should not perish. Well, so that's what I did. Almost 55 years ago now. Said, Lord, I'm a sinner. I deserve to go to hell. Would you please forgive me and save me? That's my birthday, February 9th, 1969. My spiritual birthday. Do you have one? Whosoever believeth in him shall have eternal, everlasting life. Not condemned. It's all through the Bible. When you receive him, you're born again. You become a son of God. Anybody can have that. He's not willing that any should perish. I do these programs. I'm trying to get the message out. Some of you atheists hopefully would wake up and start realizing, I've been taught something dumb. Wouldn't it be great if the Hamas soldiers would stop and look, what is it that I believe and why am I doing this? Are they allowed to even stop and think maybe their whole religion is wrong? Oh, they're not even allowed to think that, are they? Are you atheists allowed to even think maybe evolution is stupid? Oh, you're not allowed to think that. No, are you? All right, well, someday he's going to say, depart from me. I never knew you. I don't want that for anybody. Depart from me. That's what he's going to have to say, though. Finally, with Pharaoh, we'll see Pharaoh Sunday morning. Finally, Pharaoh, that's it. I'm done. Gave you 10 chances. We're done, Pharaoh. Maybe God's done with some of you. Some of you listen to dozens of my seminars here on creation, only to laugh and comment, and you come in and make fun and find something wrong. You're not really listening to learn. You're going to judgment day, God's going to say, depart from me. You're done. He tried. He sent rulers, he sent people to talk to you. He sent preachers, sent evangelists, sent people to talk. You don't want to hear it. Okay, I think you can come in the chat. Is that right, brother?
Yeah, put a link in there.
Put a link in there, whatever that means. So push a button, do something. Come on in. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, we'll start.
Making babies. Guy baby, are you saved yet, man? Come on, give your heart to the Lord. Get saved. Scientific naturalism will eventually explain traditional religion as a purely material phenomenon. Theology will not survive this eventuality. What are your thoughts? I think that's dumb, and I think you're changing the subject. The subject tonight is, how did the snail evolve this ability to reproduce the way it does? You change the subject, because you can't answer, can you? Back on topic. Focus, crybaby. How did the snail evolve? Type in something intelligent next time. Go ahead. Okay? You should ask them about crickets, because that's what atheists are. They are silent. Okay? Escargot is delicious. Richard, you may have mine. I like dead cow, dead fish, dead chicken. I don't know about a snail. The French eat snails because they don't like fast food. Rex, is that you?
Yeah.
That's a good one, brother. I like that. Amen. They don't like fast food. How did the slug learn to build its mobile home? Oh, that's true. The slug put the shell on the back. I don't know. That took millions of years. Millions of years. Let's see. All other religions, I believe this or that. Science religion, we think what probably happened was this. Next week, it'll change. No, science is not a religion. Evolution is a religion. Evolution is so thoroughly mixed in with our science books that people think it belongs there. No, it doesn't belong there. It's a religious belief. There's nothing scientific about it. I like science. Evolution isn't part of it. Get it out of there. Get it out of our science books. Okay. Jopi. So God has reason to be furious. The world has reason to be furious. How do we converse with them on this reasonable fury that has yet to be satisfied? God made this world, and he can make whatever rules he wants. And if you don't want to obey his rules, he can get angry at you. You can have your own property, your own house, and make your own rules. And if somebody comes into your property and into your house and breaks your rules, you have a right to be angry about it. When somebody comes across the border and kills a bunch of babies and beheads them and tortures them, I think the Israelis have a right to be angry about it and to go into their place and flatten it. I think they should flatten that country, pour the tunnels full of gasoline and set it on fire. Then let the sheep graze around there or something. That's what's prophesied in Zephaniah chapter 2 and Amos chapter 1. It's going to happen. Gaza will be desolate. The whole country. You watch. Okay, any more? And if the Gaza people didn't want them coming in to do that to them, well, then don't go in there and kill their babies. Duh. You don't go into your neighbor's house and shoot his baby and expect him to just not do anything. I think he's probably going to be upset and come hunt you down. Okay. I was surprised how much is going on in a snail shell. They are incredibly complex. Incredibly complex. All came from a dot of nothing exploding. That's amazing. We go out and look at the stars on the sand dunes here, and I tell, boy, isn't it amazing? All these stars fit in a dot. You guys can't get a cup of water into a dot. Try compressing water into a dot. Just try. Hey, Hovind, how do you explain the creation in 3 minutes like you do? God made everything in 6 days. See, God is outside of time, space, matter. We're stuck in time, space, matter. There have been many times I wished I could go back in time just a few seconds to undo the dumb thing I just did. Yep, my thumb too. Cut my thumb the other day. I told my wife I cut my thumb all the way down to my right toe. Oh, really? Yeah. She fell for it. Okay. Hey, I get sympathy that way, right, brother? It works. Oh, honey, please. Worked out great. I heard Cyrus, first Schofield, was financed by Jewish leaders to spread throughout the church a doctrine concerning Israel which wasn't common before. I don't know. The Schofield Bible, I've worn out several of them. I would disagree with C.I. Schofield, his notes at the bottom. I get it. He got a lot of good stuff there, but whether he was financed by Jesuits or Catholics or I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me. A lot of those people are. Okay? Kent, the Bible seems to indicate God will step in and save Israel. What do you think? Absolutely. Going to happen. They will not be able to conquer Israel. Okay?
That's all I got.
That's it. Nobody called in to be on the program?
No.
Okay.
No,
All right. Nothing tomorrow, Sunday morning, back to the book of Exodus.